Example 5 states, if the expression kx squared minus 2x plus 5 is always positive, where k is a constant, find the range of values of k. Well, it says here that this equation is always positive. So if we think about what that graph is going to look like, that means that our graph never touches the x-axis, because the x-axis represents y equals 0. 0 is not a positive number, so we can't have that occur. Everything below the x-axis represents negative numbers and for y. So it can't be there either. It has to be all the way over the axis. It cannot touch the x-axis. So we know that because it's always positive, it can't touch the x-axis. So if it can't touch the x-axis, what does that mean about our discriminant? Well, our x-axis, the number of x-intercepts that we have is represented right here in our picture. How many x-intercepts do we have? Well, we have 0 x-intercepts. Well, if we have 0 x-intercepts, what does that mean? That means that our discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, has to be less than 0. So this type of equation here, this graph, has two non-real solutions. It has no x-intercepts, and so that means that its discriminant is actually less than 0. So we're going to use this to help us out. Now, another key feature here is the fact that our function is going up, okay? Like it's a U shape, and not kind of that N shape that you might see down here. Like it could also be like this. This function also has a discriminant that is less than 0. However, because it's turned down, because this is always negative, its a value, this value up here, where k is, would have to be negative in that case. Well, because it's always positive here, that means that we know that k has to be greater than or equal to 0. So these two facts are certain to us. Now we have to use that in order to find the rest of our problem. So if we know that that's true, then we have kx squared minus 2x plus 5. Now we have to find our a, b, and c. So a is k, b is negative 2, and c is 5. So we are going to know that b squared, which is negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is k, times c, which is 5, has to be less than 0. So we're going to go ahead and continue to solve this. So negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times k is negative 4k, times 5 makes negative 20k. And that has to be less than 0. So we're going to go ahead and continue to solve for k here. So we're going to have, I'm going to move this to the other side. So it's going to become 4 is less than 20k. And if I divide by 20 on both sides, I'll have k is greater than 4 over 20, which means that k has to be greater than 1 over 5. Now, that satisfies this condition over here that k has to be greater than 0. And that's it. That is our possible values. If k is 1/5, then this will not work. It has to be greater than 1/5 in order for this equation to work. And in order for this equation to always be positive.